bush, and soon a band of suspicious Alaskans set out to warn people about what they saw as the U.S. military's secret agenda.
And what you have with HAARP is sort of the universal hammer for geophysical warfare.
Nick Begich is the chief conspiracy theorist.
So when did you know that you were onto something?
I think as soon as I saw the references to Tesla's work, and when I read Bernard Eastland's original patents, I realized that what we really had here in Alaska was a prototype for a ground-based Star Wars weapon system.
HAARP is a non-classified project run not by Bernard Eastland, but by the U.S. Army and Navy. The official HAARP story is told by one man, John Heckscher.
It consists of several types of transmitting instruments and numerous scientific instruments that study the natural ionosphere and the ionosphere that has been perturbed by the instruments that we are building.
The ionosphere is a sea of electrically charged particles in the upper atmosphere, and the instrument is a powerful radio wave transmitter.
Does it have any military applications?
The site itself is strictly a scientific research site. Perhaps the outcome of some of the science, perhaps some of the results, could be applied in to military systems.
Just a little physics project? Jim Roderick isn't buying it. He's been gunning for the real goods on HAARP, and his weapon is the internet.
The military is incapable of doing pure science. Science is conducted by them for application in weapon systems, for no other reasons.
From his shack in the middle of an Alaskan village, Jim and his co-conspirators around the globe have been tapping into databases. They've dredged up hundreds of long-buried scientific reports and even some internal documents from the military. They call it the world's first techno-protest, and they did it all on the military's own baby, the net.
Plans for HAARP activities correlate with projections of what can be done in the Eastland patents. It's that simple.
So it's not a coincidence?
It's not a coincidence.
Well, I hate to disagree with you, but it's not his patent that we're building. Superficially, yes. They send energy up into the ionosphere, but the Eastland patents require huge, prodigious, in fact, amounts of power, like 100 billion watts.
Remember that number, 100 billion watts. You'll hear it again later.
HAARP requires only 3 million watts.
There is a paper trail leading us back to Eastland.
No, there is not. There is no paper trail that I'm aware of that's leading back to Eastland. Eastland used to be an employee of the company which is building HAARP, but that's pure coincidence.
Is it also a coincidence that the tiny company that owned Eastland's patents was later swallowed up by an enormous military intelligence firm called E-Systems?
$2.1 billion in annual sales, 1.8 billion of that, with a B, was to military intelligence groups, CIA, NSA, and others. And of that, 800 million were black projects, so secret that even the United States Congress didn't know what they were.
E-Systems was then swallowed up by Raytheon Corporation. It, too, specializes in super-secret contracts with the Pentagon.
Why would Raytheon be so excited about this? Well, it's a ground-based Star Wars weapon prototype. For them, it represents potentially billions and billions of dollars.
So how would you describe this world of E-Systems and Raytheon and HAARP?
Dark.
They are dismantling the sleeping middle class. More and more people are becoming poor. We are their cattle. We are being bred for slavery. The revolution.
Not again.
We cannot break their signal. Our transmitter is not powerful enough. The signal must be shut off at the source. We have...
Daddy, I have a headache.
Me too, honey.
This is
the sky about a half hour before the earthquake in China. It's called earthquake lights. And that's something that looks similar to the northern lights, and it's something that has happened before other earthquakes, but no one knows what it is, what causes it. It's being studied to see if it could be some kind of warning sign that could be used to predict big earthquakes, but look at that. Nobody knows what causes that.
That's fascinating.
And we've seen reports of those for decades, really, but no one's actually caught it on tape until just now. That was 30 minutes before that major earthquake in China last week.
This is a video from YouTube that is of the halo clouds seen over Moscow on, I believe, October 11th, 2009. As you look at this, kind of look around at the center, you can see the lighter clouds back towards in the distance on the right, and they get darker closer to the person taking the picture on the left.
Hello, my name is Benjamin Fulford. I am a spokesperson for an organization known as the White Dragon Society. We are an international group of financiers, military men, people in intelligence agencies, and in secret organizations, as well as journalists and regular citizens who have been appalled and disgusted by the never-ending wars caused by the military-industrial complex. They have been using over 90% of humanity's savings in order to steal oil, pillage countries, and just cause mayhem. We decided that we needed to stop these people. If we could release all the money that was being taken by the military-industrial complex and use it for peaceful purposes, we could end poverty and stop environmental destruction within months. We could also then create an era of progress such as never been seen before by releasing all the technology that they have hoarded for themselves and for their secret groups. This would include, above everything, something known as free energy. It is the ability to create energy at almost zero cost. It would allow every one of us to live the life of a millionaire. What's been going on now is that we have been slowly cutting off money to the military part of the United States government. We've been telling them you cannot borrow anymore for your killing purposes. You need to transform the military-industrial complex from a swords to plowshares thing. And we will give them money to make sure nobody's unemployed. The same with the oil industry. We'll let them phase out oil in a way that nobody loses money. If we release the free energy technology, we can turn Canada into a tropical paradise. We can increase the amount of fish in the ocean by 10 times. We can make the other planets inhabitable. We are just trying to free ourselves as a species from the control of this ancient cabal. They are a group of people who have been using assassination, bribery, war, and ridicule as their way of controlling society. And because they have been running out of money, they have become incredibly dangerous. They threatened to attack Japan with an earthquake weapon as a result of their impending bankruptcy. They said, if you do not give us money, we will sink Japan into the ocean. And a fleet of American ships and submarines was sent off the coast of northeast Japan, where they planted nuclear bombs in the bottom of the ocean and set them off in order to create a tsunami, a tidal wave, and cause destruction. Not only that, they also deliberately engineered accidents at various Japanese nuclear power plants in order to cover up the radiation coming from these bombs. This was not a natural tsunami. If it was, the waves would have reached Hawaii, they would have reached other islands. But no, it was targeted in a single direction. That cannot happen in nature. The leaders of this group are members of various organizations that you know of as the Bilderberg, the Council on Foreign Relations, and the various groups of knights. The top leaders of this warmongering group are George Bush Sr., Henry Kissinger, David Rockefeller, Jay Rockefeller, the Pope, and Prince Charles. There are many other members of this group, but we know where they are, we know who they are. We now have the backing of a large group of intelligence organizations. This includes Asian secret societies, including the Triads and the Yakuza. It means members of the CIA, the NSA, the Pentagon. We have people from MI6 and British security. We have cooperation from people within the KGB and FSB. We have cooperation from within the Japanese military establishment. We are growing in power worldwide, and we will no longer allow these criminals to act as if they cannot be prosecuted for anything. If you go into a country like Iraq and you murder more than 1 million people and you steal their oil, you are a criminal and you deserve to be tried in a court of law. You cannot get away with this behavior anymore. They have been given a deadline, and they know that we're serious. They will be found wherever they try to hide on this planet and arrested. Their only chance is to agree to appear before a South African-style Truth and Reconciliation Committee, and if they do so, and if they stop tormenting and harassing our species and our planet, then they will be forgiven. This is a one-time offer. We want world peace, we want an end to hunger, we want an end to environmental destruction, and we want all the progress that has been stolen from us given back so that we can have the future we were meant to have. Thank you.